There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders, while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off with your first order at bollandbranch.com. Code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like choking on a granola bar, or falling into a pit of snakes, or a boat crash.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like Florida bog witches. It'll make sense later. Drugged out dads. And an audition gone wrong.
Oh, every one of them for me.
Oh, check, all at the same time.
You know what doesn't go wrong?
Our theme song?
Correct.
Let's play it.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. I am Danielle.
I'm Kristine.
Kristine, how are you today?
Chirp, chirp. You've got a bird on your sweater.
I do. Put a bird on it.
I love it.
Thanks.
Will you wear more animals?
Well, I have 2 bird sweaters.
This is the first time
that's all I have. Oh God, I've had this for 20 years, probably, this sweater.
It looks brand new.
Oh, thanks. It's from Old Navy.
You take good care of your stuff. Old Navy, that holds up well.
I know.
And a little Peter Pan collar.
I got my little signature Peter Pan collar.
I almost wore a Peter Pan collar today in honor of you.
Aw.
But I've never worn it before, and I was like, I don't have time to figure this out.
Is there a lot to figure out?
Well, I didn't know how to style it. I didn't know if I was going to wear a blazer. You know,
gotcha.
Sometimes
I like the white T-shirt with black blazer you've got going on. It's very classy.
I knew I wouldn't have to think about it.
Is it corduroy blazer? Velvet? What is it?
I think it's a thin cord.
That's nice.
Thanks. It's a Goodwill find.
Well, speaking of Peter Pan, Garen, did you not go to Taylor Swift this weekend?
I did.
I'm sorry I had to jump into it. I just want to know.
I have so many questions. I saw a lot of pictures on Instagram.
What happened?
You had so good. Your seats were killer.
They were floor seats.
Tell me how to
18th
start
row.
a company.
Man.
18th row?
Yeah.
Did you see his pictures?
No.
He's like, she's sweating on him.
It's
Her glorious legs.
Taylor Sweat.
It's pretty close.
Wow.
Show was incredible.
Yeah?
We might have to do an episode, How to Survive a Taylor Swift concert, because I almost got into a fight.
No, you didn't. Stop it.
How?
Karen,
So,
every detail. Tell it slowly.
Here's the thing. I was enjoying the concert. I sang every fucking song.
Great.
Yes.
Emotional, everything you want.
How many times did you cry?
I got close. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little.
Oh my God.
choked
Because
up in
the songs
stomach.
are touching, or just the
Just the whole-
excitement of being there?
maybe the whole thing.
Just
The
Taylor
I love
coming
the
out.
songs, all of that. Yes,
All
of
the
it,
costume
all of it.
changes. Oh my
Gorgeous,
God.
amazing. But about maybe like a half hour, 40 minutes into the show, I just started hearing these people behind me just over the sound of the concert. These people's piercing fucking voices talking about. Oh, I bet Carson is so jealous that I'm here because he was obsessed with her and da-da-da-da-da and wonder what he looks like now. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking?
Carson
and then this
Daly.
girl,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
this girl just like, where's the rosé? I brought rosé. Give me some rosé. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh my God.
And look,
Was that
I'm
Real
not-
Housewives behind you?
It's not, and it may have been. It was a fucking Florida swamp witch. I can tell you that. 'Cause when I turned around,
Florida swamp
yeah,
witch.
So this is an older lady. This is not
Nope.
a teen. Oh,
she's probably in her 20s, maybe early 30s,
okay.
or hard 20s.
Hard 20s, yeah.
This is as mean as Garen's
This
ever
is
been.
as mean
know.
as I've ever been.
And how
because
how many rows back were they from you?
they were directly behind me.
Oh, shit.
And you're
I
by
don't know-
were you by yourself?
Yeah, it was just me. It was just
Okay.
me. I don't know what happened. I went from leaving moon prints into the seat in front of me
Yeah.
to turning around and going, I beg of you to stop talking. You are ruining the show for everybody. Please stop talking. And the guy who just went, and she,
Oh, was it a guy?
there was I think she had, now let me tell you, my memory is hazy
Okay.
because I thought I was going to get my ass handed to me.
Okay.
I think there were 3 of them, and I think they were in differing shades of pastel V-neck shirts, too tight. But they
And
just,
these were all guys?
3 guys and 1 girl.
Oh, okay. The girl was the
Or-
one saying, Taylor, where's my rosé?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, not Taylor.
Carson.
Carson.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that guy's one of them. It may have been one guy that I just stretched into 3 because I don't know what happened.
You were saying triple?
Yeah. So
How many gummies did you have before the show?
none.
So you're
None.
sober, stone
This
cold
was
sober.
a tea-free, THC-free trip.
Okay.
So he just is incredulous, and then she just goes in like finger like this. You need to shake it off and just blood. I paid for my tickets just as much as it.
Nice
And I
Taylor
said-
Swift
I know,
reference,
really.
though.
Oh, I know, so I just go, great. Think that's good for you. Shut the fuck up. And I turned around.
Karen. I
And then
love
for
this.
20 minutes, I was a vibrating like,
Right, of
like,
course.
oh, I'm dead. They're gonna murder me. I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get goat punched in the back of the head. I'm gonna get beer dumped on me or something.
Now, were these bros, these guys? Were they gay guys? What was
Well, at
the
least
scenario?
one of them I think was gay because he was talking about Carson or something.
And the pastel V-neck is
and
a
the
clue.
pastel V-necks, yes.
Yeah.
Not that straight guys can't wear pastel V-necks, but
Right.
They were
I'm just putting together the elements of Taylor Swift concert, pastel, V-neck. I'm
Yes,
thinking maybe
no.
chances are.
Yeah. So I hear her say
Rosé.
something like him and his. I was wearing this cardigan. Him and his stupid fucking cardigan. I'm gonna punch him in the head.
cardigan, it's Taylor Swift. Of course you're
Yeah,
going to wear
that's another reference.
a cardigan.
See, I know things.
But yeah, she just kind of bitched for a minute, and then they didn't talk anymore.
Okay.
They were quiet for a long time until near the end of the show. They got extra drunk and she started going off again. But oh God, I was so mad. Just it's good for you. Shut the fuck up. Turn back around. Oh, I felt like a man that day.
You want to know, guys?
The Taylor Swift concert where he found his manhood. 18 rows from Taylor. I found my manhood.
Oh, finally, 42 years later.
Well, when your son goes to a birthday party and you have a few hours at home with your spouse, you want to get really into watching the Murdaugh documentary.
Oh, yeah. So you did that.
We watched
Keep
the
talking.
Yeah. I had
us more.
no. Did you watch it? I forget.
Yes.
Okay. So I had no idea that there was all this background stuff. It was. Oh, you watched the
Oh, I
documentary
did.
too? It was fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
one night.
I just hated them so much.
Right?
I just hated them so much. And you're like, this poor girl, the girlfriend, all of them, these poor kids.
Yeah.
Like, they have to deal with these fucking asshole rich. It's like a stereotype of Southern rich, spoiled family. Like it was
Yes.
just
It's like a TV show.
It's like a TV show.
Yes.
Like exactly, it's like a TV show. Like they can't really get away with all
They
this.
probably
shit.
will make it a TV show.
Yeah,
Watch
they
every
will.
second of it.
Guy with his beet red face. Oh, God.
Yes.
Those sons, I just fucking hated them.
And they're idiots also, right? They're big dumb. Like the dad is a big dummy.
Well,
he looks like Baby New Year walking around. Ridiculous.
he did look like Baby New Year with a worse complexion. Yeah.
Or just like I said, any guy doing like a set at the Irvine Improv on a Tuesday night of dad jokes.
Yeah.
I don't need an hour and a half on the boat thing. I got it. You could cover that in 20 minutes.
It was a little weird how long it went on.
It was like,
but...
so I was like, wait, it's going into the next episode?
I know. I was like
really stretching this out.
I thought maybe it's all going to be about the boat and this is a really old documentary.
And then it was like 30 seconds on the kid who got hit out.
That was fucking crazy. Well, I don't think they have enough information on that, but there's a lot of dead bodies in the wake of this family.
No way. I know. It's crazy.
Jesus.
Sorry, I'm yelling.
But why did he... So what's the theory about why he even killed his wife and son?
That's what I think. Garrett and I said this off mic, which we should never talk off mic.
Never,
everything
ever.
You say is
everything
interesting.
is valuable. Yes,
it's all copy.
I mean, I get why he would kill the wife because she wanted a divorce and he didn't want to pay her.
But it was like there was something I think I read in a magazine profile of them where it was like as a distraction technique because of all the money he's lost. You know, he
he
but
embezzled all them.
How is murder ever a good distraction technique?
Well, he was on a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
But my thought was, well, he's killing the son because the son's going to go to jail and further sully the reputation of the family. But maybe it wasn't even, maybe it didn't make that. I don't know. I don't understand
it's like maybe
the premise.
There's an even bigger crime. Like maybe there's just a stack of bodies.
I didn't follow the case at all. I saw people following it, but I didn't follow it at all. So I don't know if a motive came out.
No, I don't. Other than like I spent all
divorcing me or
I heard there was drug cartel shit going on with that air hang. What do they have?
Oh, the airstrip. They did talk about that,
okay.
and they also talked about how he bought enough fentanyl or whatever it was to like. Remember, it was like. If you were a heavy drug user, it would last you 1,000 years
yeah,
or
that's
something.
why
So
it doesn't
clearly
make sense.
he was distributing drugs.
Yeah, he couldn't have done enough. It was like, I'm making up a number, but it was like $9 billion of fentanyl.
Right,
it's not that. But it was like he couldn't have done that much. So clearly he was
right.
And maybe it was that the wife and the son were like, we're going to tell on you.
Yeah, I don't think the son, for state's evidence or something. Maybe like to get a plea.
Or just that they're like, you are sick and you need help. And if you don't stop this. It was like maybe they tried to do an intervention. They don't seem like good enough people.
No, they are horrible human beings.
Maybe they went to the son and was like, we know what you did with this boat. We got evidence that's going to put you away. Tell us what your dad's
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because he was already on, what is it called? Bail? I mean, he had been indicted. He was waiting trial when he died, right? The son.
It almost, maybe it defies actual logical explanation because he was so screwed up from drugs that he was borderline psychotic or something. The dad.
Yeah, I think he must have been.
Certainly didn't affect his complexion at all.
No, but in the pictures, the older son looked just like him, just a big beet red tomato. So I think it's just, maybe it's inbreeding or something. I don't know.
Like royalty.
They didn't talk about that in the documentary.
Maybe Southerners are like, we got to keep it in the family.
Oh, those poor families. I'm changing glasses so you know what that means.
I'm getting
We're talking
ready.
about the Murdaugh thing, and now we're going to learn how to survive a boat crash.
Ooh, I thought it was going to be murdering dads.
That would be really good. But I don't know if I would have enough examples.
I think there's plenty of murdering dads out there.
Yeah. Wait, dads who murder or kids who murder their dads?
Dads who murder.
Patricide? Oh, no.
Dads who murder.
Infanticide. Okay.
At some point, we'll probably cover both topics.
Yes. and then fuck the person who has to come on as the guest and be funny after that. Okay. How to survive a boat crash. Regardless of the circumstances, surviving a boat crash is something everyone should be concerned about. Being careful to stay safe while boating on open water is extremely important. Capsizing is a significant threat to boaters on open water and causes injury and death all too often. New boaters are particularly susceptible to becoming trapped under an overloaded boat. The weather can also quickly escalate safety concerns. Knowing about any potential dangerous weather conditions beforehand is the first step in maintaining your safety on the water. Beware of the cold.
Oh, I always am bewaring of the cold.
Me too. I'm always being wearing of the cold.
I wish I had socks on right now.
You don't have socks on?
No.
I don't either, but my feet are covered.
Well, I'm wearing shoes.
Right, but are you wearing shoes? Are you open-toed?
No,
No,
rarely.
you're not an idiot.
No, rarely am I open-toed. That's playing with fire.
That's right. Well, the opposite of fire is cold. It's not really. Wow, it's not at all. It's just that fire's hot.
This is a science podcast.
Shut the fuck up. Is that what you said to them?
Yeah, I beg of you to stop talking.
I beg of you.
And good for you, shut the fuck up.
Good for you, shut the fuck up. That's our new shirt. Okay, cold water shock is a serious threat to boaters and swimmers alike. In the event of a capsized boat, people can find themselves suddenly immersed in freezing water, exposing them to the risk of cold water shock.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
That's right. Over time, this can lead to hypothermia. To combat these risks, it is important to huddle together with other survivors for warmth.
Maybe even have sex.
That's right. Keep everyone's bodies close to one another, wrapping arms and legs around each other to conserve as much heat as possible. So you're saying after being tossed from a boat in a boat crash, whilst in the water, you should have water sex.
Have you not seen Crash? Isn't that what that whole movie's about?
I'm not saying that.
I've never seen the movie Crash. I know what you're talking about. The movie where people get off on
James
car
Spader and
crashes.
Holly Hunter.
Yeah.
That movie is fucked up.
I've never seen it.
I saw it when I was like 20 with my boyfriend in the theater, and we did not
Sexy
know
times.
what we were getting into. And we both were like, what are we watching right now? Like, it is...
So
it's David Cronenberg.
Oh, enough said.
It's very disturbing, as I remember it. I mean, if I saw it now, maybe I'd be like, yeah, it's a weird movie. But I've
watched
seen
Euphoria. It's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you'd be like, what? But it's really dark.
Do they have sex at the crash site?
Yes, in the crashed car.
Oh wait, they crashed their own car
on purpose,
and then they get off.
Not at first. It's like at first it's an accident, I think, and then they're like,
oh,
they get turned. Two people in the world who have the same weird thing happen to be together.
Okay, keep in mind, this is like
a long time
30 years ago. I saw the movie, I think, or,
Yeah.
Yes. And so I could be remembering incorrectly, but I feel like James Spader's in a car, Holly Hunter's in a different car. They crash into each other, and then
You got my chocolate and your peanut butter.
Yeah, and I like it.
And I like it.
Let's do more of this together.
Right.
And then it
Sex
gets more
Reese's.
and more sex Reese's. That's what they should have named the movie.
Yes, because there was another movie called Crash, and it was confusing.
But that was later.
Yeah, but not that much later.
And then they could have marketed Reese's cups with the movie.
Right, like E.T.
Yes, they did. What a missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. Fucked up.
Sex Reese's.
I have never seen this movie, but I can't imagine there would be anyone better than
James Spader.
James Spader to be the lead in a movie with this topic.
There isn't, except maybe Harvey Keitel, who I think is also in the movie.
Oh,
listen to
you
this.
made it that much. Yeah.
This is something you and Jimmy can watch together next.
Yeah. This movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Since Murdaugh Murders.
Okay, that's a good one. That was our last sexy thing.
Anyway, yes, what I'm saying is water crash.
You got my peanut butter in your chocolate. That was my attempt at Holly Hunter.
That was
really...
good. Now let's hear your James Spader.
And then the baby said, "Mother." It's from when he was on The Office. Have you ever watched when he was on The Office? It's fucking hysterical.
I don't remember.
He plays this really creepy guy.
What?
Who works for Saber.
Okay.
When Saber takes over.
Yeah.
And he Oliver quotes it all the time because it's so funny. He starts telling these terrifying stories for no reason, and like. The baby looks up at the mother and says, "Mama." I can't remember what it is. It's really creepy. It's really funny.
Oh my God, I love
and baby he doesn't say the baby. He's like, and baby. Okay, where were we? I think we're talking about boats.
And sex water.
Sex water. Have you ever had sex in water?
Maybe like in a hot tub.
Okay. Does it work? Because it always seems like it's not
in a shower. But
in a
that's
shower, I
also
think
not,
I did once. But it's
not easy.
It's something for a movie. It doesn't really work. Yeah.
It's just movies. It's like that same. It's the same in movies where it's like people kiss and then they're just having intercourse.
Yeah.
Smoothly, as if like that happens. Like, wait, there's no foreplay and just everybody's ready the second they start kissing. I mean, I get it. It's because they don't have a lot of time.
Because they're hot. They're hotter, so they get...
People that are hotter in life don't need foreplay. They just are like, oh my God, look at you, look at me.
Exactly.
We're ready.
That's right. Okay. Additionally, this is good for sex too.
Okay.
Hold on to floating debris. In an attempt to keep more of your body out of the water.
Yep.
If possible, avoid swimming for warmth, as this could lead to exhaustion. So that's the tricky needle to thread.
How do you... So you're holding onto the debris.
Yes.
So you don't have to swim.
Oh, and the story in the Murdaugh thing, she just clunked her head right away.
I'm kind of glad, aren't you?
I know, yes,
Because
yes.
she probably just died then.
Most people greatly overestimate the length of time they can tread water. I don't. I think I could do it for 2 seconds.
No, I'm
not a good
very
swimmer.
weak. I think I would just...
Yeah, you and your frozen shoulders.
Oh, my shoulders frozen? I'm frozen before I even get in the water.
That's right.
I'd kick dead.
That's right. Kick dead. That's a Fosse move. Okay. Most people greatly overestimate. Okay. Instead, surviving a boat crash requires conserving energy and trying to use other floating objects. Stay as close to the capsized vessel as possible.
What if it explodes?
Yeah, well...
I'd be worried the boat would explode. Is that just a movie thing, too?
I think so.
From, like, the Bourne Identity?
Probably.
Or Supremacy? Or...
Here's something you can do. Life jackets are a must.
Oh, I always wear a life jacket.
Regardless of one's... Do you?
Yeah.
That's good. Even when you're, like, taking a ferry?
Yeah. Give me a life jacket. They're like, we don't have any.
Just driving, you wear one. Mm-hmm. Regardless of one's swimming abilities, it's important for everyone on a boat, including children, to wear a life jacket. Safety should always be a top priority when it comes to boating. Additionally, it's crucial to make sure that the life jacket is being used, that the life jacket being used is the right one. If it's not approved by the U.S. Coast Guard, it may not provide adequate protection in an emergency. For kids, so I guess like don't use the one from Target. Like get a real.
Okay. I usually don't bring my own. I mean, I think.
Right.
I assume a boat's going to have enough.
Yeah. Well,
you shouldn't, though.
Don't assume that. For kids, parents should ensure that the smaller life jackets are properly fitted. For instance, the flotation devices should fit snugly and not be too loose. Otherwise, an improperly fitted jacket can easily slide off, leading to a dangerous situation. Accidents can happen faster than it takes to put on a life jacket. The U.S. Coast Guard estimates life jackets could have saved more than 80% of boaters who die on the water.
80%?
Yes. Well, in that Murdaugh thing, had she been wearing a life jacket, she might not have... Well, it's hard to tell because I don't know if she clunked her head. Like she flew in the... It sounds like she flew in the air.
But she might have drowned.
She may have drowned. But if she had a life jacket, she may have bounced back up before she hit her head.
And then they would have found her and taken her to the hospital and could have gotten her head injury addressed. But if that knocked her unconscious anyway...
But she floated up. They could have...
No, I'm saying, yeah, you're right. I'm agreeing.
Plan your trip ahead. Creating a float plan is an important safety step for anyone venturing out on the open water. This document should include your home address, the names of all individuals on the boat, and a general itinerary for the day. It's a smart way to inform a friend, family member, or local marina of your whereabouts and expected duration of the trip. That just makes sense.
Do you like going out on boats?
I haven't done it a lot. I have... I don't not like it.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I was on a sailboat once, and when Oliver and I went to stay with Oliver's friend and her mom, and we went to Delaware 2019 before the pandemic, and because they stay there the whole summer because my friend's parents live there. And so we stayed in the house with them, and we went out on a boat and got crabs. Like,
yes.
We pulled up the crab
sexually
traps.
transmitted disease.
Yes, because we weren't wearing a life jacket on our private parts.
Right. You got to put one there, too.
You have to and make sure it fits snugly.
A tiny one.
One with wings helps. So, yeah, that was fun. Yeah. I mean,
Were you on a sailboat?
No, a
different kind of boat.
Boat with an engine? What's that called?
Speedboat?
Speedboat, I guess.
I don't know. There's lots of different boats that have engines.
Okay.
You were on a...
I wasn't on a yacht. I
were on a
promise. It was like a speedboat. Okay, so these are some of the things you should do. Stock a noisemaker. An air horn or whistle can help alert potential rescuers. If you remember in Titanic, she swims over, gets the guy's whistle, and then uses it.
Yeah, because she couldn't say the words.
Because she couldn't say the
Remember
words?
she was trying to say, like,
help.
Yeah.
Oh, she couldn't make her yeah.
Because I think he was yelling, like, is anyone here?
Right.
And she was like,
Help.
She was too opposite of fire.
Yeah, she was. Have a VHF radio. A call on VHF radio channel 16 goes to anyone who is listening. Watch the weather. Okay, how often do these accidents happen? The most recent U.S. Coast Guard data, well, this is actually from 2016, so it's not that recent, but, shows that nearly 4,500 recreational boat accidents were reported in 2016.
that's a lot.
Yes.
Too many people drinking on their boats.
Yes. The number has been rising since 2013. Accidents run the gamut from minor scrapes to real disasters. But no matter the incident severity, boaters who have an accident should follow the same procedure. Okay. Now, this I got from a website called Cottage Life.
Danielle has a different internet.
Which, it's just for old people. I'm gathering that cottage life is what it, I mean, I looked it up.
Okay.
It sounds like living in a cottage. However.
It sounds great.
Yes. However, one's definition of a cottage seems to differ from the next person's because some of the cottages look like they were just huge, but just, had quaint decorations and they're calling it a cottage.
They're like, I live in a mansion,
right?
But I put doilies on everything.
Right. So it's a cottage.
Okay.
And this is from Canada. So this is about Canadian cottage life.
Okay.
But it had some good stuff. For most cottagers, that's what they call themselves.
Oh my God, I love this subculture.
Boating is an essential part of the experience. So I guess living in a cottage can be a little confining. You want to get on your boat. While the vast majority of boat trips end with everyone safe on dry land, unfortunately, not everyone makes it back to shore. According to the Life Saving Society, sounds like a good...
Yeah, I like them.
Power boating activities account for roughly 10% of the 160 or so drowning deaths that occur in Ontario every year. Here's what you need to know if you're involved in a crash with another watercraft, land, or some other stationary object. In the Murdoch thing, it was a bridge, like I forget what the word is, but the thing that goes from the bridge into the water.
I'm going to call it a pylon.
That's exactly what the word is.
It is?
Thank you. Yes, you're 100% right.
Wow.
In the immediate aftermath of an impact, your two main concerns will be determining the safety of any passengers and assessing the condition of your boat.
Not your own bleeding head?
Well, no.
Okay.
First, do a head count to make sure no one has been ejected, which is exactly what happened in the Murdoch thing. Assess if anyone needs immediate medical attention and have everyone don their life jacket if they aren't already wearing them. As we know, they should have already been wearing them.
Yes.
Next, turn off the engine if it's still running and determine if you are taking on water. If there's a fire or anything else threatening your boat's seaworthiness. If you can't bring the situation under control with your fire extinguisher and or bailing buckets, you'll have to consider abandoning ship.
Also have bailing buckets.
Well, cottages come with bailing buckets.
Oh, it's essential.
You hang them outside on a little nail.
Oh, that's cute.
I made that up.
The nail has to be like ordered from a special place.
Yes,
you can't just pound a nail into your cottage.
No.
You'll get ejected from the cottage society.
And then you'll take on water in the form of alcohol.
Ooh.
Because you're so sad that you're no longer a part of cottaging. After your passengers and vessel are secure, you have a legal obligation to assist the people on the other boat, if that's what you collided with, provided that doing so doesn't put you in danger. Once both crews are accounted for, it's time to contact the authorities. And the best tool for doing so is to use a marine radio tuned toward emergency channel 16.
Okay.
If you're in a collision, and that's in America too.
Oh, it's the same. It's like the 911 of boat accidents.
But 911 isn't the same in other countries, is it?
No,
I don't think so.
It's not.
811 in Europe?
Yeah, it's something else.
But I'm saying
yeah.
It's the international 911
yes.
of boat accidents.
If you're in a collision, a maritime radio becomes your best buddy, says Joe Gatfield, chair of the board of the Canadian Safe Boating Council. Any distress call broadcast over a marine radio will be picked up by the Coast Guard, local police, and any other boaters in the area listening to Channel 16. If your boat is imperiled, you'll want to put out an emergency call, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
That's classic.
Fun fact. Fun fact.
Fun fit.
Fun fact. I like this. The internationally recognized distress signal is an Anglicization of the French word m'aider, meaning help me.
Oh.
Mayday, m'aider. M''AIDER, which help me.
We just learned some French here.
I know. If you're not sinking or in any immediate danger but do need assistance, place an emergency call by saying pan, 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 which of course is French for bread. It is French for bread, but that's not why you say it. I don't know why you say it.
Maybe they bring you bread?
I hope so. Wouldn't that be nice?
And brie.
If you're drowning and they come and they bring you not just a heavy blanket, but also a baguette and some brie.
Oh my God.
You think it's because nobody responds when somebody else helps? So if you say pan, 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 people are so polite, they're just going to bring you bread.
Maybe.
And then also help.
Yeah.
Once you've made either distress call, provide your location, explain the situation, describe your craft, and identify how many people you have on board. The problem with relying on a cell phone for emergency communication is that cottage country is notorious for cellular dead zones. I think people who live in cottages don't want to be gotten in touch with. You need to write a horror movie that takes place in cottage country.
Oh, that might be too much for me.
And as
You've got the sweater for it.
That's true. It is cozy.
And as Gatfield points out, even if you get reception, you're reaching out to someone on land who has to figure out a way to get to you rather than connecting with the nearby boaters who are monitoring the emergency channel.
Yes.
As soon as it is safe to do so, exchange contact information with the other boat operator, including their vessel ID number and insurance provider. Like, you have to handle this like it's a car accident.
Yeah, it's professional.
Yeah, and contact your own insurer with the details. If intoxication on the part of either operator is suspected as a cause of the crash, you should immediately notify police and blame it on the other teenager who was not as rich as you with his connections.
I was not driving the boat. My dad will attest to that.
Just fucking pieces of shit. Okay, if the accident involves another boat, take down the contact. Okay, I already said that. Okay, note the time and place that the accident occurred. If possible, take photos of both boats and any location damage. Sorry. If possible, take photos of any damage that has incurred. Even if you didn't call emergency services, you must file an accident report with state or federal law enforcement agencies if someone was injured or if accident-related damages total more than $2,000.
And is this is everywhere, not just cottage country?
No. That last part I read was American.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of mixed it all up here.
That's okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah. Post-collision, you should monitor for whiplash or other injuries that may not immediately show symptoms and seek medical care as needed. As soon as you and your crew are safely ashore... Okay, I already did that. Okay, that was sort of repetitive, so moving on. Surviving a boat crash often relies on having a required safety gear on board, including life jackets, a buoyant, heavy heaving line, a paddle or anchor, noisemakers and flares. The biggest problem we find is insufficient or expired flares.
Oh, what do you do with expired flares?
That's a really good question. I guess maybe just light them somewhere to make sure they're expired.
For fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
On 4th of July. Flares have a shelf life of 4 years.
Okay.
From the date of manufacture, which is printed on each one.
Okay.
So just like your milk, you want to check, it's
check
not
those
safe to
expiration
use.
dates.
Yeah. If your boat sinks, you're legally responsible for salvaging it and repairing any environmental damage.
I bet that's expensive to get a boat.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Out of a lake.
These costs can be exorbitant, which is why it's wise to have a boat insurance policy.
You do have to have that?
That's a really good question. I don't know that.
Okay.
That's a really good question. Maybe Garen can look that up. Do you have to have boat insurance if you own a boat in the United States?
Feels like you would have to.
Finally, you must have to. Maybe it's like maybe if it's a motorboat or something.
Like, I don't think you have to have a kayak insurance.
Right. Finally, the number one way to improve the odds that you won't be involved in a boat collision, don't drink or imbibe before you get your hands on the throttle.
Just don't operate any machinery.
Are you ready for what? Did you find something?
Most states don't require boaters to purchase insurance for their watercraft.
Whoa.
However, many marinas do require some form of insurance if you wish to use a slip or mooring.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so you have to have some sort of insurance.
When you're using
When you're using a marina.
their marina.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then
So
I
if-
wonder if then
yeah.
that covers it once you go out into the open sea, the boat.
If
or-
the insurance covers it?
Yeah, or if it's
I
like
guess it
just
depends.
when you're in
Yeah.
our marina, once you got to the
Right.
sea, I don't know, go kill the dolphins, we don't care.
Right.
Or people.
Yeah, go make oil lamps out of whale blubber.
Yeah. Just don't do it in our marina.
Just, I don't want that oil on my hands.
No. You got a story for us?
I
Is
do
that what
have
you're
a story.
saying?
Yes, I 100% do.
God, I'm excited.
It happened so fast. 1 minute, I was at the helm steering our little boat across the calm expanse of Melbourne's western port bay. Okay, so now we're in Australia.
I don't know where the accent is, but I'm waiting.
Oh, shite. Okay, I'm going to do...
You don't have to.
I'm going to do one sentence, and then I'm going to not. The acceleration cut in my 16-year-old brother Bill was shouting that water was coming in. Okay, that's all I can take. Our leisurely and all you can take.
I loved
I'm sure.
it.
Our leisurely family boat trip had turned into a disaster in the space of 30 seconds. Our boat sank, and my mum, dad, Bill, and me were tipped into the sea. Ooh. It was later found that the bottom of the boat was completely rotten.
Oh, no.
So this is not a crash. This is a boating accident.
Yeah. This is a rotting boat accident.
Yes. It just wasn't visible to the naked eye. Were they naked eye? Shocked and unprepared, we had no option but to start swimming. Nobody had seen us go down, and as it was about 7 p.m., other boats had headed to shore. It was up to us to rescue ourselves.
I'm
yeah,
so nervous.
yeah,
There's so many
I
poisonous,
know.
deadly things in Australia.
I was 15 and a reasonably good swimmer. We all had life jackets on, but the 3.5 kilometers to land looked like a long way.
That's far.
Yeah. That's like
A mile and 2 miles.
Oh, God.
Wait.
Yeah, 5K is like 3
3.5.
miles. So 3, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
I worried whether we'd make it. Then darkness started to fall. Dad had difficulty soon after we left the boat, so Bill went to help him. Mum and I stuck together, but as time went by, I was getting further ahead. We'd call out to each other every few minutes. Susan, are you okay? Yes, Mum. Our voices... The writer is a woman.
I can see that.
Yes, Mom. Our voices bounced out of the dusk, the only signs of life in the terrifying expanse of water. At some point, the call stopped. I must have pulled too far ahead to hear. I was filled with the need to swim quickly to get help. Gulls shrieked overhead, and I kept imagining they were warning me of an attack from the sharks that inhabited the bay. I could see land, but it didn't seem to be getting any closer. After more than 3 hours in the water, I finally felt the bottom. I'd reached the mud flats of what I thought was the main land. Weak, cold, and exhausted, I dragged myself through the quicksand mud, which was up to my waist.
Oh, gosh.
This was more terrifying than swimming. The mud sucked me down, and I feared I could be swallowed. My muscles ached, and I didn't feel as if I was making any progress. The clock was ticking... The clock was ticking in my head. I needed to get help for my family. When I finally made it ashore, I realized I was on French Island, a former prison island inhabited by only 60 people.
Oh, my God.
I know, it's like Lost. I was terrified that if I didn't find help quickly, my family may die. I ran through scratchy bushland and after about 2 kilometers found a house. I scrambled to get my story out to the couple who answered the door and they took over from there. I was hopeful my family was still alive, but felt overcome by the guilt of taking a hot shower when they were still out there in the dark. As the water streamed over me, I cried and cried. Mum, Dad, and Bill's bodies were recovered the following morning. Why had I survived? I had been driving the boat. I had left Mum. I should be dead too. The guilt was terrible. I couldn't deal with what had happened, and for the next few years, I didn't care if I lived or died. I was on a path of self-destruction that only changed when I had my son William 5 years later. I guess William's named for the brother. For years, I avoided water at all costs. But in 2015, 30 years after the accident, a friend suggested I face my fears and do a local 1.2-kilometer charity swim. My first trip to the pool was very short. My anxiety was so bad that I couldn't breathe. I had to get out. I tried for 4 months, but nothing worked until a local swim coach heard my story and offered to help. At first, the water was filled with terrible memories. A bird calling overhead reminded me of the gulls. I imagined my family helpless in the water's grip. But over the next 6 months of The beauty of my training grounds at Half Moon Bay started chipping away at my terror. I imagined how proud my family would be. I even started to enjoy it. 14 months after my challenge was set, I completed the charity swim with William cheering me on. I went on to swim the Rip, a notoriously dangerous stretch of water, and recently swam the English Channel as part of a 4-person relay.
Wow.
I know. My fear no longer controls me, and now I use my swimming to raise awareness of domestic violence, an area close to my heart. I took 30 years, but I understand that what happened wasn't my fault. Ironically, it took water to heal me. Swimming has gone from being the hardest thing I've ever done to something I crave. Huh. So I know that's a horrible story, but I just thought it was a good how to survive.
No, it was beautiful.
Her resilience was like unbelievable.
I'm always amazed by people who have this horrifying experience and then return to it to heal.
It's crazy.
It's really, I think, such a testament to the strength of humans.
Yeah.
Spirit.
And she needed those 30 years to deal with it in one way and then decided to deal with it another way.
That's amazing.
It's pretty impressive.
What a really great story you shared with us today, Danielle.
Well, you're welcomes. All right, we will be right back with our guest.
Yay.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
And we're back with Canva Presents Secret Sounds Work Edition. Caller, guess this sound.
It's a mouse click.
So close. That's actually publishing a website with Canva Docs. Next caller.
Definitely a mouse click.
Nice try. It was sorting 100 sticky notes with a Canva whiteboard. We also would have accepted resizing a Canva video into 10 different sizes.
What? No way.
Yes way. One click can go a long way. Love your work at canva.com.
Welcome back to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. Kristine, how was your break?
Oh, one of the best breaks I've ever had.
Because?
No bad news from my phone.
No bad news from your phone. That always makes a good break.
Well, I stayed off of Twitter and
there you go.
News sites.
Oh, okay. So then that's just how you avoid bad news.
I'm not saying there wasn't bad news.
Right, but you don't know about it if there was.
Of course there was.
Yeah.
I just didn't expose myself to it.
Well, in the first half of the show, we talked about boat crashes. And now we're going to talk about car crashes with our very special guest, Niccole Thurman. Hi, Niccole.
Hello.
So Niccole is, for those of you who don't know, she's a writer and an actress. I know her from Twitter because she always makes me laugh, and I follow her, and that's how I know her. But you may have heard Niccole's voice on Jellystone on HBO Max and on Tuning Up the News, which is the Colbert-produced, right? It's an animated sort of take on like cable news.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's kind of, to me, like an animated Daily Show or something.
Exactly.
It has that vibe to it.
Yeah. It's really good. I'm gonna have to watch more of it, but I've watched some of it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And you said you recorded home?
Yeah, we record at home. It's really cool. They have a great setup because I've done stuff at home, but it's like they put all the pressure on you to like have the right equipment and be the production engineer, and I'm not good at that, and I get really anxious about it. But this one, they sent us like a big desktop Mac, like with a huge 27-inch screen, and like it's already programmed with all the software that they use to record, so they can connect to it, and like the mics and everything. They gave us everything.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was super easy. You just literally plug the computer in, and then they can like access your computer and do all the stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
hey, that's fancy.
I know they really have it down. I feel like after 3 years of remote work, they're the most like, as far as productions have been going, they're the most like advanced, and like they get it. they figured it out. Yeah.
So I kind of saw this happening in real time on Twitter. So explain exactly what happened.
Yeah. So it was just a crazy moment. It was just I always like I tell it as a story of like this. I feel like it was another like a bigger than me thing that happened to me because I haven't gotten in very many accidents in my life. They've always been just like fender benders, small things. I've never had surgery, never done anything. And so then I was driving, I left my dog. I said, I'll be back in 2 hours. I was going to go tape an audition over in the Burbank area. And I was kind of by Warner Brothers. And I ended up getting in a wreck with it turned out it wasn't a semi. I said semi because it looked like a semi coming at me. But it was one of those, it had a semi front to it, but it's a flatbed truck like that tows those big that can tow other trucks and things like that.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I ended up getting in a huge wreck with that. I was turning left and he T-boned me on the passenger side.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so it was a very intense accident. I literally remember like looking over and going, oh my God, because in my mind I was saying, oh my God, I'm about to get hit by a semi.
Right.
It wasn't a semi, I'm about to get hit by a semi, and that's the last thing I remember. And then it just went black.
Oh shit!
It was crazy. God. And then I woke up. I was on the ground, and there was a bunch of paramedics around me, and they were saying to each other, we got to make sure she doesn't have some kind of head injury because she keeps repeating herself. And I was like, what? I'm not repeating myself. I haven't said anything. And then they were like, oh, she's awake. And
you were doing the lines for the audition.
Yeah. I know. I gotta get to this audition. Yeah, and that's what I think. I can't. Yeah, but yes, I was very confused, and it turned out I broke my back. I fractured I had an L1 burst fracture.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
Do not watch I watched a YouTube video of what it was because I was just kind of curious, and I watched the wrong video because it was like showed the cracking sound and everything, and I was like, oh I can't believe that happened to my back. So I got a burst fracture in my back. I have hairline fractures in my neck. I broke my clavicle. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, which was lucky because I just was healing quickly, but it could have been longer.
Yeah. Wait, first of all, this happened recently. When was this?
Yeah, February 10th.
Okay, so this has just happened.
Yeah,
all right.
It just happened, yeah. And so I'm still, I'm very lucky to heal quickly, but it was a very intense accident. And it was just, I was bruised all over my body, and when I got to the hospital, they told me I had to have surgery, and I was like, no, I can't help it. Like, I'm always myself, and so I was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds horrible. But I had to have surgery on it, and it was a big surgery. It was 5 hours, which I've never been in surgery. Like, we didn't. Even my mom, because she got my friend Lynn is an angel. She was there almost immediately. I helped her call my mom. I told her my mom's number. I had her call my ex-boyfriend because we just broke up, and I was like, I need my ex-boyfriend. Shit. And she was incredible. But why was I telling that story? She was there and she was just helping me so much. But I think everybody was shocked because we didn't realize how intense it was. I mean, we kind of did, but not really. Because I think she made a joke that I called her and I said, hey, can you come to the hospital because I got in a little accident. And she said that I put my hand up and there was like blood all over it. And she was like, oh my God, Niccole, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. It was just an accident. Like, I didn't, somehow I couldn't process it.
Right, of course.
You were probably in shock.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I didn't feel a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. They said that I was saying that my back was hurting, but I don't remember it hurting at the beginning. I remember it hurting after the surgery. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I went into surgery and it was like a long surgery, and luckily the surgeon was great, and yeah, I've been healing quickly.
Did they have to put any kind of like metal pieces in your back for the repair?
Yeah, because I had a few things going on. So I had that burst fracture, which caused my bones to touch on my spinal cord, but luckily not go too, because the doctor, when I came out of the surgery, he was like, you're very lucky. A lot of people don't walk away from this.
Right, because if it's touching your spinal cord, it could be paralysis.
Yeah, and when it's a burst fracture, it goes into pieces. Mm-hmm. So there was pieces of it all in my, and it caused a spinal canal stenosis, which is bad because it's when your spinal canal or something or cord gets compressed, so that makes for a lot of nerve damage in your legs. So it can be incredibly painful, which it was at first. And then so they had to put hardware in it to kind of decompress my spine, both up and out, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
I still have a lot of follow-ups and things, and I'm hoping to see the images because I haven't even seen what it looked like. I'm curious.
Oh my God, I would be so curious.
I know. I'm like, what is in my back? What's going on back there?
So will those things come out?
No, I think they're there
forever.
Yeah.
So when you go through an airport now, it's gonna ding or something.
I went through a metal detector the other day, and I was looking at her like, is she gonna catch me? And no, she didn't. So no, I guess
you're
not.
smuggling.
Like something's in my bag. Will she find it? She didn't find it. But yeah, it's So yeah, it was just like all of the things at once. Huge car wreck. Big surgery.
Yeah.
Being in the I'd never been in the hospital overnight ever, and I was there for 2 weeks. I mean, it was just all the things were just. It was, and I'm the type of person, when a big trauma happens, I'm not as affected, quote unquote, you know. I'm kind of just like, well, that was crazy, right? Like, you know, but then when it's a small thing, of course, it's the end of times for me. Like, I can't find my bobby pins. Where are they? So it was interesting. It's been interesting because I feel like I didn't think of it as big of a deal as it was, and then I kind of started to slowly realize how big of a deal it was.
Yeah.
And so that was that's been an interesting experience for my brain.
So you said your friend called your mom. Do you have family in Los Angeles?
No, I mean, my grandpa's in Rolling Heights, but I mean, he's old. He's like 95,
so
it's not like he's going to drive down here and be like, hey. My mom, she flew out.
Oh, she did? Yeah. Okay. Where did she?
From Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so... Okay, so did she stay in your apartment while you were in the hospital or something? Or?
Yeah, she stayed there for 2 weeks, and she was... I mean, it was hard. It was tough. We have we love each other, but it's like... We're very similar and then also very different. And so it's that kind of middle ground where we're always kind of navigating that. And it was tough because I was in a lot of pain, and I'm not an easy person. You know, I can be a real jerk sometimes. So it was a little tough, but... I'm so glad she came out. She was there the next day because the thing was that injury is really bad. It can make you incontinent. If it doesn't make you paralyzed, it can make you incontinent.
Right.
Yeah.
This lady stuck her finger in my butt and told me to squeeze, and that's how she figured out I could poop right.
Oh,
yeah. It was
thank
crazy.
God for that lady's finger.
Right?
Oh, my God.
It was so crazy. She was just
all
like...
the humiliation on top of everything else.
Oh, my gosh. The sponge bath I got was the weirdest experience.
Oh,
but,
no.
I mean, everything was... I only got one of them, but they were so... I was just like, what's happening?
I think I'd be like, can I get an anesthetic for this?
Yeah, put me out.
But it's also, I wonder, I mean, I've never had that experience, but just being in a hospital after giving birth, you're also at a point where you're like, whatever.
I knew you were going to say, and I think you're so right.
Whatever, man.
Yes.
Just do whatever needs to be
care.
done. I don't care. I'm a mess. Like, there's like later you go, wow, I just shit on the table. But like at the time, it's... You know, you're in pain and you're broken, and it's you're kind of vulnerable at that level, I think, of also just like, please help. I don't want to speak for you. Maybe you didn't have those thoughts, but you're
absolutely right. I mean, I'm a very modest person. You know, even with my ex, it's like, obviously he's seen me naked a million times, but I'd still be like, don't look at me. Just like shy. And it was just a crazy experience because it was exactly that. I was the most vulnerable I've ever been. I'm not very good at being vulnerable, and I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
All my friends, I would laugh, and I'd be like, did you just see my vagina? And they'd be like, kind of. I'd be like, I don't care. Because it was truly like, I was, just flopping around naked under a little gown and in pain in a way that, like, I didn't care. And I remember when they gave me the sponge bath, I don't even remember how it started. I just remember all of a sudden being up and having two women washing me and one of them matting my hair.
Oh, matting it?
But yeah, she made it so, she washed it so poorly. I was like, girl, what are you doing?
Oh, they don't know your hair.
No, they do not. That's exactly what it was. I was like, okay, you don't know.
You need to get a black nurse in here, stat.
My friend came and combed it after it. Yeah, Lynn, who's black. Yeah, she came and she was like, here, I got you.
Were they keeping you pretty healthily medicated too, though, so you could also manage your pain so that you weren't too miserable?
In the first hospital, it's been such an interesting experience because I do feel like the first hospital was such a blur because of the medication. So I've been reading a little bit of, I've been reading a lot of the health reports that I got just to see kind of, because it's interesting. It'll say like she was complaining about pain, so we gave her another shot of Dilaudid, which, doesn't work for long, but it works. And that was the only thing, and I kept asking for it because it's the only thing that really works. It's really strong. I remember, it was painful, and it's just one of those pains where there's no direction that's comfortable, and I sleep on my right side, and my whole right side was what was messed up, so it was just trying to figure out, and I had 35 staples in my back.
Oh my God.
Holy ghost.
And is that because of the after the surgery they had to do that? Okay.
Yeah, because he said that he made the incision extra long. I'm not sure why. He told my mom, but I think because he wanted to make sure he got above and below the injury, so everything was like healthy, clean, structured. He did a really, I mean, I've never experienced a bad back surgery, but I think he did a really good job. And everybody, you know, all the nurses and doctors that would come in, they'd be like, that's actually a really nice scar. Like it's really straight. And he did, you know, so I feel like I got very lucky in that way too. But yeah, I was medicated enough that it was mostly a blur, but I was still conscious, and I had a lot of visitors and a lot of flowers and just a lot of love. So I was very taken care of the whole time.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So psychologically, I'm trying to put myself in this position.
Yeah.
But also, I know that you're on drugs, and so you're not exactly like cognizant. But psychologically, are you like, why did this happen to me? Are you frustrated? Are you mad? Are you scared? Like, did you ever get scared? Like, I'm not going to be able to walk, or?
It's so interesting because I don't think I was able to process anything, honestly, until I saw my car, which you may have seen on Twitter.
I did. You went to go visit it, but I mean, you did, right?
Well, because I was like, let's go pick some shit up. Like I literally was with my friend Lynn, who is literally, I mean, she's been, and I know I say literally too much. I keep saying it. I'm like, stop saying literally.
But you're using it correctly,
but
so.
Yeah. But she and I went to the tow yard because I said, you know, let's go pick up my stuff, because I had stuff in the car. I was like, I think I have my nice sunglasses and, you know, these clothes that I had been wanting to return were in the front seat. And so I just thought, you know, let's go grab it. We went there, and it was just, I mean, because I saw the car. That's the thing, is I saw the car when I first got in the wreck. I remember looking over and being like, whoa, at my car. But I didn't process it. And the thing is, in the hospital, I think my kind of brain, the way I work is, maybe it's kind of just get through it, and then later you're like, oh my God.
Right.
I think, you know, I don't know if that comes from, you know, things that were in childhood with dealing with like a crazy parent relationship, or, you know, like I don't, and I'm not talking about my mom, I'm talking about like my parents divorcing. Yeah. They had problems. But yeah, I think it maybe comes from that, of where you just get through it and then maybe you think about it later.
And you said 2 hospitals, so what happened? You went to a second hospital?
Yeah, so I was at the first hospital mainly just for the surgery and the beginning, like ICU, and then getting better and all that stuff. And then the second hospital was acute rehab. So I did rehab 3 hours a day, every day.
But you stayed there?
And I stayed there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was a challenge in a different way, because I was, I don't know, I was getting better, and also in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain that seemed like if I wasn't there, I would have felt better. Like my hip was hurting so badly that it made me feel crazy. I mean, like my back has always been a painful but okay thing. My hip was, I mean, my hip, like my legs after the surgery were the worst, and then my hip was the second worst. I had a hematoma that just made my hips swell up really big. And it was also when I had to wear the brace, because I was wearing a back brace for a while. The brace would push on it. I know. Right? I was like, I am going to take some. Yeah. Somebody told me that was a kink, because I posted a picture in the brace, and I was like, oh, come on, everything's got to be a kink.
We were just talking about the movie Crash in the
What happens in that?
Oh, well.
The first Crash. Not the famous Oscar Crash, but there's an earlier one.
I don't know it.
With James Spader and Holly Hunter, and they get off on car accidents. Sexually get off.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, there's a kink for everything, apparently.
The nurses were beautiful. I mean, they were just so lovely.
That's so great.
I got to know them at the rehab hospital especially. They were just so lovely. But yeah, going home, I felt like I just started healing faster and not being in nearly as much pain. So that was great. Because at first I was scared. I was like, my oxycodone's going to run out. My muscle relaxer is going to run out.
You really rely on it.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what that's going to feel like, because all I remember is the horrible pain, and I don't want to go back to that. Yeah. But then I realized that I didn't need it after a while. I was like, good. I'm only taking it now because it's been 6 hours, but I don't really need it. So maybe I'll just kind of slow down. And
so you didn't feel like, I'm obsessed with the addiction aspect. So you didn't feel like You had to have the Oxy. Okay, thank God.
I was it was interesting because a lot of people were talking to me about not taking it. And I was like, first of all, shut up. Because it's like, you're not in pain.
No.
Oh, like not taking it in general.
But yeah, not taking it in general.
You don't know what this feels like.
Yeah, and I'm like, I need it for now. But yeah, at first when I was at the first hospital, I was like, don't give me opioids. I don't want opioids.
Right.
I've seen all those movies. I've seen all the documentaries. I don't want those freaking, what are they called? Sacklers? Get them away from me.
Exactly.
You know?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, get them the hell away from me. But for some reason, because I was on an IV opioid and a pill opioid at first, and then they took the IV away. I was okay. Then eventually I took the pill away, and I was okay. And I never felt like I needed it, and I'm not sure why.
First of all, I think we're all really wondering is if the ex-boyfriend was properly consoling and felt bad and did all the things you needed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was good, and then all of a sudden I think we both kind of realized, okay, like, bye.
Oh,
and we haven't talked in a few weeks, but it's for the best.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. I mean, that sounds weird, but like, all I remember from calling him, which I thought I called him during the day, but he was like, no, you called me at like 2 a.m. after your surgery, and I was like, okay. But that night I was calling a lot of people because I was in pain, and the nurse was being mean to me, so I kept telling everybody, the nurse is being mean to me. But eventually I told her to stop, and I didn't say stop, I just said, I understand that you're tired and you're overworked, but I feel like I'm on fire, so I just need you to stop. And she was like, okay.
Oh, good.
But anyway, my ex was, we had only broken up. I mean, we broke up 2 or 3 months before, but we were doing no contact. We had been real, just pissy with each other toward the end. Just pissy and just doing kind of like weird, hurtful shit. And like, I mean, he was doing more than I was on that part. But
do you think he paid the truck driver?
No. That would be so funny. And if he was, oh my God, that would be a great true crime episode though. If it all wraps around and then he, no, but all I remember from our phone call was me saying, I need you. He said, okay. Because he knew I had gotten in a car wreck because I told my friend to call him. I said, call my mom, call Phil. And so I was like, I need you. He said, okay. I said, I love you. And he said, I love you too. And then he was there the next morning.
Good.
And he was there I remember him being there almost every day in the first hospital. And the second hospital, he was there a lot too.
Wow. So in a way, you kind of had a nice dissolution of the relationship because,
because our breakup wasn't so great. I had COVID and I was just pissed at him and I was like, I'm done.
Oh, and
he
you
was
had
like,
COVID.
fine. And so then we broke up. It was like that kind of weird breakup. And then we didn't talk. So then, we he was holding my hand every day. He helped make my apartment accessible.
Wow.
He was incredible. He's a really, really, really good person. And I love him. I still love him. And it's not, but we are just in different places. So it was like the breakup was he's sober too. So I make fun of it. Like we're both sober, but we also had a very sober breakup. It was just like, this just isn't, we're all both in different places. Yeah. So anyway, it was really nice to have him be there for me. And my friend was like, yeah, he's paying you, it's like reparations for all the shit he did when you guys are together. I'm like, yeah, I deserve
Well, that's why
this.
I was asking, because I just assumed.
Yeah, no, it was good. And we had like nice conversations and everything. It definitely was like a nice closure moment.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was really beautiful. Like, I have nothing but warm feelings for him. I really love him.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah. I have anxiety. So these bitches are like, they write how old I am, and then they wrote female with anxiety presents with these problems. And so then every freaking doctor, every time I was like, I'm in so much pain, they would say, you're just having anxiety. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
But I think it's like when they know that you're a little tense or you Googled your symptoms or you're a little anxious, it's like it turns them off. Which
It's
is like,
the hysteria.
That's why it's like the old school women are hysterical vibe.
Yeah, gotta have a.
There's so much
body
more
part
dismissive
stigma.
of women in the healthcare system, even women doctors, and it's really upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do a whole other podcast about this, but that will be the other podcast.
Right. Well, and I've heard a lot of things about Black women getting, dismissed for their pain. And, I think it's just they think women, because women can handle more pain than men. That's like technically a thing. And so then it's like you add to that, I guess I don't understand what the Black woman element of it has, but I know that I felt like I had to advocate, like you said, for myself
even
so
more
many times. Yeah. And I would say, I'm telling you right now, it's not anxiety. I know what anxiety feels like, and I know what pain feels like. So just give me the pain meds, please. Like, stop doing this to me.
Yeah.
It happened a lot that they told me it was anxiety because it's written on my chart.
Wow. You need to get that off your chart.
Yeah, I do.
But then I thought, well, but if there's a circumstance where it's really important, like if you take anxiety medication or something, they have to have it on their chart. So I don't know. But I don't understand what the black woman thing is either, except that it's just...
It's racist.
Racism, yeah.
And just, like, it's like
blanket somehow kind of like...
You don't know what you're talking about.
System. Yeah, and I think it's just that. And then I understand that they are really careful with their pain pills, but if y'all gonna give me something that's gonna get me addicted, that is not my fault.
No, that's on you. Right.
I didn't come in here saying, give me something that's gonna get me high. You know, I said, I am in pain, give me medication. And you gave me the opioid. I didn't say, give me something that's gonna...
Right.
You know. And so then it's like they treat you like an addict, kind of, but it's like, but I didn't...
Well, they don't want to be liable for, if you get addicted.
They've been in so much trouble.
Right.
Yeah. But it also really puts you in an awkward position. And I've probably talked about this already in the show when I had to get opioids for different surgeries and they'd give me like 3 at a time. Yeah. And then you're in a position of having to call them constantly and be like, so I know I called yesterday. Yeah. I'm already out again because you gave me 3.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Can I get some more?
And then you feel like you're doing a drug deal.
Like I'd be crying because I'd be in so much pain. And so then they're like, we're concerned about you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So we're going to refer you to our pain specialist clinic. And then you're like bargaining. So it puts you in a position of feeling like an addict when you're like, no, I'm not. I'm just in criminal amounts of pain and you need to treat it. And this is what works. Yeah. Like it's really, it's a really sort of precarious no-win situation for people like Niccole who are dealing with an actual... if you have a broken back, it's like I can't think of a more viable candidate for these medications. Yeah. And then it's like they actually are designed to work really well. Right. That's why opioids, they are really effective at treating pain.
Absolutely.
Right. But they also tend to be addictive. But it's like you still need them.
Yeah. Right. I need something. It's like, and that's what I kept being like, you can give me whatever you want as long as it takes the pain away. But I don't know. Right. Like I can't keep asking you for that. And I had a thing where like when I got out of the hospital, they gave me this. They like wrote some prescriptions out in a weird way because the system wasn't working to just give it to just like electronically transfer it to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist was just like, well, I can't do this. And I do the same thing I always do with people where I say, listen to me. I understand that you think XYZ about me or you don't know me, but I'm telling you right now, I need this. I just walked out of the hospital. And like, that's how I have to talk to people. And then they'll be like, okay. Because it's different than yelling at. You don't need to yell. Sometimes you just have to be like, listen, I understand that your point of view is this, but this is who I am. So I'm a person and I need you to help.
With an actual script in your hand, she wasn't going to fill it because she thought you had forged it or something?
I think it's because she was, the oxy, it just looked weird. It looked like somebody just kind of was like, hey, give her this, but it's like, was a doctor, And so I think she was a little wary about it, but I'm like, I don't care. And she's like, well, we won't have it in stock. And I was like, give me anything you have in stock. She almost filled the whole prescription. So I was like, quit playing with me. Sometimes you just want to scream, but it's like, that doesn't work because you can tell they've been screamed at a million times.
Just show them your scar on your back. I mean, Jesus.
Show the picture of the car. It's
you were wearing
see the car?
Exactly. I was wearing a brace and I had a cane when I got out of the hospital. I'm like, I literally was, I put the cane up there and I was like, listen to me. I literally just came from the hospital. I would never have come in with papers. I would rather her have transferred it electronically and have you have it ready. But instead,
you gotta come in in like those yellow socks and the paper gown to prove that.
Like little grippy socks. I was like, I've got the grippy socks. Let's go. But it was a crazy. There was just moments like that, and you totally understand. I mean, I understand everybody is just worn down. Yeah. But it's also like, I don't care. Get my stuff. Help me. Help me.
Well, Niccole, first of all, I'm so grateful that you're okay because it's bananas what happened to you, and you. Luck or whatever saved you, thank God. Yeah. And thank you so much for coming on. This was fantastic.
Yeah. A harrowing story.
Very harrowing.
A great story. Everyone should follow Niccole on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll put all your links up in our what is it called?
What do we do? Do we have a mailer we send out?
A mailer, a flyer?
A circular.
I think we have a circular.
It's a zine.
Yeah.
A zine. We're just 90s riot girls.
I love it. No I, just 2 R's.
Exactly, girl. Okay, well, thank you so much. And we will be right back with what we learned today.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped, self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
Danielle.
Chris.
You ready to learn what we learned today?
More than ready.
Remember what Portlandia taught us? Put a bird on your Peter Pan collar.
That's right.
That's exactly what they said.
Oh, shit. Now I really want a Peter Pan collar blouse with a bird on the actual collar. I'll go to ModCloth.
Google that on Poshmark.
I'm sure
it exists.
I'm sure it does.
Find your manhood at a Taylor Swift concert.
Ah, yes.
Is there any better place to find your manhood?
Nope.
Murdaugh Murders, a Southern Scandal, airs on Netflix.
Yes.
Beware the cold. It's the opposite of fire. Sex Reese's. That's all. It's funny on its own.
There you go.
Robert California makes his first appearance in the 2-part season 7 finale when the former oil rig salesman stops by the office to be interviewed by Jim for Michael's former position. I don't think I saw season 7.
Oh, God. You have to just watch those 2 episodes. I thought it was on more than 2 episodes, but just watch those 2 episodes. It's really funny.
Life jackets are a must. Don't worry about how much of a dork you look like. It's safe. It'll save your life. A life jacket with wings may or may not protect you from crabs.
But you'd look so cute.
Oh my God, with a little life
wings?
jacket?
Yes.
Get a radio and tune to Channel 16 in case of emergency. The Murdaugh boat crashed into the Archers Creek Bridge sometime around 2:20 a.m., flinging Mallory Beach into the water. Connor Cook called 911, telling them, "We're in a boat crash on Archers Creek. There's 6 of us and 1 is missing." After first responders arrived, the other 4 passengers were taken to... I'm sorry, Garen
laughing?
Garen,
Whenever you guys do accents, it makes me laugh.
Garen laughing made me laugh, not the death of
the situation.
Not the death of this girl. After first responders arrived, the other 4 passengers were taken to a local hospital. I feel like we could do 4 private episodes, 4 just episodes about talking about the Murdaugh story. Remember, if you're the first one to radio for help, you can blame someone else for the accident.
Yep.
Expired marine flares, which are hazardous wastes, are transported as explosives and must be disposed of at a hazardous waste facility permitted by the EPA to manage explosives. State laws prohibit the disposal of hazardous waste in waterways, trash, and in municipal landfills. So, guys, you can't just throw these in the trash. They're like batteries and medication.
You know what I would do?
Take them to Rite Aid?
No. Oh, yeah, because you can
dispose.
Turn in. Yeah. No, I would check those labels day before they expire. Let's have a party.
Let's have a flare.
Light them all off.
Oh, a flare party, and you wear flares.
Oh, you wear flare pants?
Yes.
I'm wearing flares today.
Let's do that. Let's have a flare party.
Because you don't want to, because that sounds like a lot of hassle trying to throw those away.
An estimated 174,000 outdated flares are generated each year by recreational vessels in California. Damn it, you recreational vessels. You're also polluting our waters.
Yeah.
Why don't you just, you know what? Get a kayak, you dummies.
Yeah, dum-dums.
With this large number of unneeded flares generated annually in California, there is a strong need for public education and awareness about proper disposal, as well as good disposal options. Well, guess what we're doing right now? Mm-hmm. Publicly educating.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome.
Yeah, once again.
This is a public service, this show.
It really is.
I don't know when the government's going to recognize us, but when they do...
to say when they're going to shut us down.
I want a parade.
With expired flares.
Yeah, that's the only explosives The only explosives I want are expired flares.
Yeah.
You know what we should do?
What?
Thank some of our
yes.
our Patreons.
Let's do that.
Our patrons.
Patrons who signed up for Patreon.
Actually, while you're looking, I can read the update from my dad about that serial killer.
Oh.
We talked about it last week where my aunt interacted with Leslie Ellen Williams. This is what he says. I said, didn't my aunt have a run-in with a serial killer? He said, yes, she came face to face with him. She told him there was something wrong in his life.
Wait, she told him, oh, this is the preachy Christian aunt? Yeah.
Yes. A couple weeks later, a grandma and grandson caught him raping a lady in Kensington Park. They called the police and they caught him leaving with her in the trunk. That lady would have been his next victim, but because he was seen by those other people, I guess they saved her. She was face to face with a serial killer and insulted him to his face.
Well, here's the thing. Either your aunt is completely making this up, which I think is totally possible.
Absolutely possible.
Or she used that as justification for preaching to everyone else and saying, you're wrong for being gay and all this shit because she told him that there's something and she was right. She knew.
Would you guys like to hear some of our Seek Shelter members?
Yes.
So we can give them a little shout out.
Yeah, so these are Patreon members who we are thanking for signing up.
They had our Seek Shelter level, which means they get to hear our bonus episodes. And we have one coming out, I think, tomorrow. Well, by the time you've heard this, it's already been out. So I can reveal it's with Dorothea Coelho.
Close. No, I think that's right.
And it's really, really funny.
Yeah, it was really fun.
First, we're going to thank Abby Morris. You want to know something?
What?
I went to high school with Abby Morris.
This Abby Morris?
I went to middle school with Abby Morris. And I went to elementary school with Abby Morris. Wow. So she is a local favorite.
Wait, is this the Abby Morris?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's cool.
I believe, Abby, you correct me if I'm wrong, she married also someone I went to elementary, middle school, and high school with named Tom Morris.
Okay, wait. Was her name always Abby Morris? Did she marry someone with the same last name?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think her maiden name is Klein.
Okay.
And I have fond memories of both of them.
Okay. She wasn't your frenemy or something?
No.
Okay.
Very nice. Both of them very nice people.
Well, thank you.
And I hope they have fond memories of me. I imagine they remember me as a troublemaker, as most do. Thank you so much, Abby. We're delighted to have you. Thank you for supporting the show.
Yeah.
Next Seek Shelter member. Oh, no, I actually, just one more thing about Abby. She wrote us a really fun letter that we're going to share next time we share letters.
Okay.
Get ready. Doug Tobacco.
Nice.
Right?
That's not like a Nick Cage character? Doug Tobacco?
What if it's actually Nick Cage?
Oh my God, that would be so amazing.
You know what I hope, though? You didn't make him smoke.
I make everybody smoke. That's my job.
I know. I'm a little concerned.
Someone should change his name to Tobacco.
Yeah. I don't know if that's his real name or not, but that's great.
It's a great name.
Either way.
First off, he's a Doug.
He's a Doug, right. So he should listen to...
My Two Dougs?
I Love Dougs.
Wild World of Dougs?
Wide World of Dougs? Yeah, that's what it's called.
They love to talk to
Doug
Dougs.
Benson show, yeah.
So he could go on that show. Thank you, Doug, for...
My Two Dougs.
They're raising a daughter together.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't know which is the real Doug and which is just an extra Doug.
The cuter one, which is Doug Tobacco.
Yeah.
Next, we have Marty Scantlin. Marty Scantlin.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Thanks,
I thought it was going to be Scanlon, but nope, there's a T. Scantlin. Next up.
Yeah.
Chloe Lanning.
It's a cute name. Chloe.
Chloe's a fox. A cartoon fox.
Oh, Chloe also has a cartoon fox?
Yeah. You only get to choose, I think, cartoon fox if you don't choose a picture. And how many is that? What have we done? 4? We'll do one more.
Okay.
Here we go. I got to scroll up. Sorry, you don't get one because you... Oh.
What?
Here we go.
Nick Cage.
It's Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
No, it's... This is one of those names that I don't know which way it goes. But I'm going to go with the German pronunciation.
Okay.
For Matt. Matt Wiens.
How do you spell that?
W-I-E-N-S. Well, if I really went with a German, it would be Wiens, Matt Wiens.
Okay.
But
I've never heard of that name before.
Wiens, W-I-E-N-S. If it was the English pronunciation, we'd say it was wines, right?
I don't know. I've never seen I-E. Yeah, I guess wines.
I'm going to say Wiens, Matt Wiens. Matt, if you want to let us know
Fix your name.
What's right or wrong about what I'm saying.
Put an umlaut on it.
If you like it, then you should have put an umlaut on it. That didn't flow as well.
No, that was really
Sounded like
bad.
it was going to, though, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
We got caught up there at the end.
Yeah. Guys.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for the Patreon and all listeners. We appreciate your, I was going to say fellowship, but that's not the right word. And I've never said that word in my life. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Don't ever say fellowship again.
Thank you for your listening pleasure.
Yes. Thank you for the pleasure, guys.
And until next time, remember, remain calm.